Um, you do you, man. Live your
Thank you.
life. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. All right, guys. There was no way I could have seen all of your comments. I was in the dialogue, right? I appreciate the follows. I'm scrolling back. I can't say I'm gonna be able to read all this. And okay, who is this person coming in? I just want it. Okay, let's see. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all right. How about you? It's a little late.
Doing well.
I'm here.
Yeah, fair enough. So I guess my question is why?
Why should a man lead his woman?
Yep. And why should a woman submit to her man?
Got it. I believe it's natural. I believe that he's supposed to be the protector, the provider, and that he's good at it if he's a good man, if he has a good character. I'm not saying all men apply.
What do you mean by natural?
Like it was implied by nature. That's what I mean. Like we're naturally.
By what qualifier?
Stronger, typically less emotional. So that usually helps in the decision.
What do you mean by
process.
typically less emotional?
Like we're more rational than women are. Women can be a little more emotional side.
So ration and emotion are not opposites. And there's actually no scientific backing that men are less emotional or more rational or less rational. Now, when it comes to strength, I can give you the point that sure, testosterone makes you more likely that you will have natural strength. But would you agree that there are some women who are stronger than men?
Of course, there's the exception to every thing. Right?
So if that's true, then how can you point to nature and say nature tells us to have these social constructs?
Because typically, men on average are stronger than women. So I don't really like to focus on the exceptions.
What do women need protecting from?
Jesus, I mean, is that really life? Like there's so many things out there.
Well, tell me.
Where do we start?
What do women need? Yeah, what do women need men to protect them from? Other men?
Other men. It could.
So that completely disproves your point.
It doesn't.
Yes, men can't be the problem and the solution.
It's not the same man.
Right, but men, you are arguing that you're grouping them under an umbrella. So if women need men to protect them from men, you can't say the problem is men and the solution is men.
I'm not saying the solution is or the problem is men. The solution is men. No, I'm saying us. I'm saying us.
Women need protection from.
Yeah, men, which is outside men, but the solution is your man.
Your solution is still the demographic that is the problem.
He's a male, but he's a male that you've chosen to be in a relationship with who should protect you. The people, the other men, so they have a different.
DV not a thing?
Sorry?
Is DV not a thing?
DV, I don't know what that means.
Domestic violence.
Oh, no, that's a thing.
Okay. So let me just kind of ask you here. I find your takes to be reminiscent of toxic masculinity.
Gotcha.
And the four typical behaviors we see when it comes to toxic masculinity are stoicism, competitiveness, aggression, and dominance. So you've already kind of mentioned that men just are typically stoic because you said that they are more rational and less emotional. And then your literal take behind you is just saying that men should dominate over women because women should submit to man.
Not men.
And you're
should dominate over
saying that
Your
women
man
need
should,
to
your
be
man.
protected.
You keep turning it into like a plural thing. No, I said your man, the man that you choose to be in a relationship with.
In relationships, men are supposed to lead and women are supposed to submit, then you are saying men need to dominate women. This is not just a singular relationship. You are applying this as a social gender construct. And then you're also saying that men need to protect women from other men.
I don't phrase it. I don't phrase it that way because it blurs the lines a little. It could be blurry where people will think that all men should just dominate all women. No, we're talking about in a relationship here. So that's why I say a man.
Different? How is that different? Tell me the distinguishment that makes the difference.
Because if I have let's say I have a girlfriend, men
have women. Gotcha.
That's my woman. Okay, just because she's my woman and that I'm gonna lead her doesn't mean I'm gonna go step into somebody else's relationship and try to lead his woman.
Well, I'm not saying you as a singular man need to dominate all women, but you are saying in terms of gender roles that men should be in a more dominant position than women.
In a relationship, yes.
Yes. And that is also an element of toxic masculinity. And then you essentially also say that it's, man's role to protect women from other men, because you do see men as aggressors.
They can be.
So when it comes to your entire take, I just think you have a very narrow view of what a man is and a very immature perspective on a relationship. A very antiquated one, too.
I see. How do you think it should be?
I think each relationship is unique and that there should be a structure that fits both partners' needs.
So you think that there's a correct circumstance to where a man should submit to a woman?
I don't think that partners are meant to submit to each other, because in a relationship, there's no real need for dominance. It is essentially about teamwork and the delegation or the, what word can I not think of right now? The delegation of housework. I know I can say that better.
I think I'm
responsibilities, where they delegate the co-delegation of responsibilities. Mm-hmm. So if someone has, strengths A, B, and C, they can decide as a couple, these are your responsibilities, so on and so forth. And these will how we will cohabitate. So when it comes to relationships, I think it's very should be structured between both individuals, not assigned based on gender. Which, again, I think your lens might come from the fact that you live in a white patriarchal society.
I don't think so.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you disagree that that's where your lens comes from, or do you disagree that we live in a white patriarchal society?
I disagree. That's where my lens comes from.
Where's your lens come from?
Just my observation of life.
Can you expand?
Just that I'm going to say it again. The happiest I've ever seen people in relationships is when the male is the leader and the woman is submissive to him. She's the happiest, he's the happiest, and they go on about their life. So I would
implore you to do some reading, because a new study came out that when it comes to men, the happiest demographic of men are married men. And when it comes to women, the happiest demographic of women are single women.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No.
You got to be single. Yeah. There is no one I see rant more on any platforms, especially on this one, more than single women about how hard it is to date at whatever age they are at.
Yeah, because men suck. Right. That's why. But that's why single women are choosing to be single.
That's not
because
happy.
When it comes to relationships,
that's not happy. You wouldn't be complaining if you were happy.
They are happier than being in an unfulfilling relationship.
Right.
That is why
they would prefer to be in a relationship, though. Correct.
No, they're no. They what do you mean they would prefer to be in a relationship? Not necessarily. When you again look at the demographic, when you look at the study, the reason that men are typically happier as in marriage is because men reap more benefits.
Okay.
Where
Such
single
as what?
women, typically it is when we look at labor, essentially paid labor as well as unpaid labor.
Okay.
On average, women actually work 92 hours more a year than men.
Okay.
And when we look at leisure time, men have an extra 260 hours of leisure time. So if we look at the actual labor, women work over 2 weeks more than men between paid and unpaid. And when we look at leisure time, what is that? 260 hours. Let's say a 40 work week, that's 6 extra weeks worth of time is termed as leisurely. So women end up taking more responsibilities within the relationship, which is why men are typically happier.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, well, again, with your gender social roles, women are more expected to maintain the house, to be the provider for children. Even if you look at if a man were to actually hire someone to be a nanny and then to also maintain his house, that position would come with a price tag of $120,000. And so essentially a wife does that for free, especially if she stays in the home.
Got you.
And then men are more apt to advance their career because they essentially have a partner who is supporting all other work while they can pursue their own personal interests.
And you think something's wrong with this?
I think it says something when men reap the benefits of a relationship and women are happier not in a marriage.
But the whole time they're not in a marriage, they're complaining about how they can't find someone.
That's not necessarily true. Some women might complain that a lot of men have viewpoints like you.
I mean, I think they think that's what it is.
Acknowledge. Well, I mean, you have to acknowledge if we look at the traditional societal roles that you are essentially prescribing to, even if we look at the 50s and 60s, it was very hard for women to get out of marriages, not only because they couldn't have access to a credit card, women weren't really in the workforce, as well as when you are in a marriage where your partner provides the only income. When you want to leave that relationship, you don't get to take the income with you, which is why there is such a thing as alimony. But in order to get the immediate resources to leave can be very difficult for someone who is dependent on their partner. So even again, this social gender roles that you have conjured really do oppress women because it limits options that they have available. And now what we've seen with essentially women being entered into the workforce, women becoming more educated, and women being able to provide for themselves, men really haven't pivoted from the traditional gender roles. So if you kind of admitted yourself, men really aren't that emotional. So it can be very difficult for a woman to find a fulfilling relationship if men don't want to experience any kind of vulnerability, if they essentially want to reap all the benefits and not have a lot of responsibility. If they, I mean, there's so much that goes into a relationship.
Men don't want to have a lot of responsibility?
Yes, when it comes to the sharing of responsibilities. Men typically like to stay in the lane of I bring home the paycheck, the woman does everything else. If we look at unpaid labor, women make up a large, I don't have that statistic memorized, but women make up a large portion of unpaid labor.
When the scenario comes up, and this is a common one, of if someone was to break in the house, who typically goes first to go make sure everything's okay and typically puts their life on the line? Is it the male or female?
Well, I don't know what point that proves.
It's a responsibility to the family.
It's really not. I mean, can you tell me what percentage?
That's not a
Wait. Not necessarily. I would actually argue that it would not be. It would be better for you to secure rooms and call 911, not to actually go investigate and be a hero.
I shouldn't be a hero as a man.
In that situation, you are putting yourself in more dangerous situation to where you don't know if the robber is armed, and you could actually lose your life, which would leave your family without, in probably your relationship, without sole support provider. So yes, it's more in more of a strategic and I would think common sense kind of way. If you had someone break into your home,
I would be more than happy to put myself in a situation that would protect the woman I love.
Or leave her a widow. Like, you must acknowledge that. And
again, can you tell me what? Wait.
Can you tell me what percentage? That's a part of the
responsibility that you say that we don't want to take.
Tell me what percentage of homes are broken into? Can you tell me what percentage of homes are broken into while people are there?
In any dangerous situation, let's just say not even in a home. In any dangerous situation.
Just tell me what percentage of homes are broken into.
I don't know. I don't have that on hand.
So this could be a very rare occurrence.
Let's just say any conflict.
Because I will tell you, I am married.
How about any conflict?
We have never
steps up, the male or female?
What?
In any conflict, any dangerous conflict where there could be perceived danger, who steps up, the male or female?
I would say that would depend on the personality.
It's probably the male, hopefully. Please God.
Really? Can you tell me, have you heard of the Parkland shooting?
No.
You haven't heard of the Parkland, Florida shooting? It was a school shooting?
No, I've heard about some, but I don't know.
Okay, so the Parkland school shooting had a school resource officer. So they had a man armed with a gun. Well, I mean, if you've never heard it, what do you think he did?
Don't know.
He ran and hid.
Oh, wow. That sucks.
So this argument that you're presenting that I am man, I protect woman, is not like a conclusive scientific
So what?
It's just how you view it. Really is how you view our gender roles in society.
You're saying a man was in a school with his woman, and when someone pulled a gun, he went and hid?
I am saying that they had a school resource officer, so they had a police officer, who had a gun in school. So this is a man that is even trained to protect people. And when a school shooter came on property, he ran and hid.
Interesting.
So that's my whole point, is that you kind of perpetuating this stereotype that in all dangerous situations, men act big, tough, strong protectors. It is just a fallacy.
It's not a fallacy for me. I do it 100% of the time.
When you don't get into dangerous situations, then you can say, yes, I protect myself 100% of the time. So
I will do it. Sure. I volunteer. For a woman I love, I volunteer 100% of the time.
You know,
even if it risks my life.
I hope that really, like, you.
What kind of man wouldn't? What kind of man wouldn't? Are you with the man that wouldn't do that?
I just gave you an example. If you would like another man to come on here, everyone's saying let dude in. But my whole point is I've brought you a lot of facts, a lot of studies, and a lot of statistics. And your perspective on your entire opinion is very anecdotal and uneducated.
Doesn't anecdotal mean that it doesn't apply to, like, it's not reality?
Anecdotal is essentially where you say that you present evidence that's just from your firsthand experience. Yeah,
firsthand experience. So it's fact for me.
No, I mean, when it comes to anecdotal information, have you heard of object?
If I witnessed it as a reality,
have you heard of object permanence?
Then it's truth.
No. Like, have you ever heard of the, example, like when you go and buy a new car, let's say it's like a Subaru, then you start seeing Subarus everywhere?
Of course. And all I've
So
seen
that's the
is
issue with
very
anecdotal evidence, is because
right.
you like it, because, I
It's not,
assume you're a man. You like it when you see relationships where the man is the leader. And so you create this kind of narrative that, oh, these people are happy.
no, it's not a narrative.
So
I could
you
tell by the way
look
I
for,
could tell by the way the woman doesn't smile in her
see, and
photos.
that's
And I could tell
again,
by the way
that's
the woman.
again like such a immature point of view, because you have
No,
no idea what these people go through behind
I
closed
talk to
doors.
them. I've worked with some people closely. If you knew what I do, but
Again, like you really, the fact that you say I have insight into other people's relationships
I
from the
do.
outside looking in
No, not
tells
from the
me
outside.
how immature you really
No,
are.
from their communication directly to me.
Again, like you aren't there monitoring
That
them, and you are
anecdotal or
not.
is that
It
a
is
fictional?
absolutely anecdotal. It is absolutely anecdotal.
So they're just making it up. They're just saying they're unhappy.
I'm not saying they're making it up, but when it comes to anecdotal information, you have a very, I want you to imagine looking at a painting through a straw, where you might see one drop that is yellow and you're like, oh, this painting is yellow. But really, the painting is something completely different. So again, data,
When someone
statistics,
says they're unhappy,
studies.
I typically believe they're unhappy.
Right, but like I said, your whole opinion is based on anecdotal evidence, and essentially, I do think your lens comes from the white patriarchal society, because it seems you have a lot of traits of toxic masculinity
I'm
embedded.
just going off of reality.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. That's
No,
the fact that I'm talking to you right
I
now.
brought you a lot of information, and the fact that you don't even
I
have,
don't need to have a
this
study
is
to know that
something.
I'm communicating with you right now. Is that anecdotal or is this reality?
The fact that I brought you all this information that you didn't know when it came to social and gender constructs tell me how little you know about the subject that you are trying to debate here.
I know a lot.
What else do you know that's not based off of your quote unquote expertise insights?
Enough.
You can't present anything.
Everything that I said throughout this whole dialogue. More than
You
enough.
haven't presented anything. Okay, well let's bring another guy in. Let's see what another guy says.
We'll see.
The dude. I think the dude. I think that would be helpful for you.
How's everybody else doing? I appreciate all the gifts, guys. All right, I'm trying to. I'm trying to see what you guys are saying. Oh, I thought you were leaving. I thought she was leaving, yo. I thought she was done. Hold on, I'm trying to read the comments. Where's she at? Oh, sorry. You guys wanted to read the comment, or you guys wanted to read the post, the topic. What would a woman ever? I can't read them fast enough. All right, let me see. I'm not. I'm here. Was it Kenzie? or the dude? How's it going?
What's up? Mackenzie back in.
I'd prefer it to be just one-on-one.
She did get a pretty good number.
Not really.
Yes, she did.
Not really.
Do you like pegging by chance?
I think you do. Are we gonna have a respectful conversation, or look at how he entered the conversation? Tell him to write a formal apology. I'll let him back. I'm just asking to have a respectful conversation, guys. That's it. He literally came in the worst way you could come in. Hold on, I got you. Okay, hold on. Hello?
Hi, how you?
How's it going?
All right, it's all right. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to pop the TV.
Hey, you're good. How's it? Things are all right. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
looking through these comments here.
I see you.
So,
So
what's
one
up,
thing I
man?
wanted to, well, number one, your statements are inherently false. Number two, you inaccurately described what anecdotal is. You're making a general statement stating that it's true across the board, and then you're giving your personal experience evidence as evidence to prove a general statement. You understand how that can't be right?
I hear what you're saying.
Okay. So anyways, you were getting straight murdered by Kenzie. Like it was an annihilation.
Nobody's getting
You
straight
need to
murdered
hold
by
that
her.
whole L.
No,
And then like
nobody's
you
getting
came
straight
on for
murdered
you
by
just
her.
getting
No,
pegged.
nobody's
You
getting
fucking
straight
suck.
murdered by her.
You fucking
Nobody.
suck.
Nobody. No, bro. No.
You were
You pay
getting
attention
worse. You
over
were
here,
getting worse
and you probably
completely.
don't get much over
She
there. Let's
slapped
be
you up
honest.
like a little bitch. She slapped you up
Nah.
like a little bitch.
Hold on, I'm trying to keep up with your comments. All right, I'm gonna read it again for you guys. A man should lead his woman, and a woman should submit to her man. Do we have any respectful debates? Hold on, I think we have someone. It is a discussion. More guests. I'm not here for the views, yo. Hold on, I seen someone's comment. No, the only person that was kicked like that was the one that was disrespectful. The other person, I thought she was done talking. Like, I thought she was done. Like, she was saying to bring the other person on and that she was leaving. So the only one that got removed was the one being disrespectful.